the shutdown affected 86 families that were employed at that facility. And it was 3 weeks before Christmas.
While the mayor of Marana is upset that the state is closing the private prison that's been in his town for nearly 30 years, he's as much upset that the people who work there were notified on short notice during the holidays.
And I was very vocal about this, is Merry Christmas from Governor Hobbs.
The state took ownership of the prison when the private prison contract ran out a few years back. The state says it's a financial drain and housed only about half the 500 inmates it was initially designed for. Still, there were enough inmates that it provided Marana with a pretty cheap workforce.
They provided hundreds of thousands of hours of work along many of our roadways, whether it was trimming trees or cutting weeds. When we had big storms in the summer, they would send crews out.
The prison was controversial when it was built in 1994. As the state's first private prison, the state was anxious to get it built, so Marana was able to call the shots in order to garner community approval.
We put restrictions on it. Anybody that had committed a crime with a knife or a gun or a sexual crime was not allowed to come to this facility.
Except for this brief lockdown nearly 15 years ago, having minimum security inmates kept the prison pretty quiet. And the fact it was so isolated, many of the town's residents didn't even know it existed.
They're just not aware, and that's what made it so spectacular. People were not afraid of it. They didn't even know it was there.
So now, once it closes on Sunday, the town is wondering if it should buy it from the state or whether it should just wait and see what the state has in mind. I'm Bud Foster, 13 News.